What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Blue. I'm back again with some more Moe Fish topics and conversations. With me today, we've got our partner in crime, Chris, here to bring you guys some more information
Nonsense.
about fishing in Missouri, as well as just some nonsensical stuff that we have experienced during our time out fishing these waters. Today's podcast, we're going to kind of go over a couple different things real quick. Number one is going to be weather temperaments here in the state of Missouri and what that can do to the fish and the people. I'd say is you can see some of the burn around my face, my neck.
You can see my big old red forehead.
Yesterday did not go as according to plan for us whatsoever. We got cooked. We went out for our fishing trip. We hit 4 different spawns. I want to say, boy, I can see you back there. We hit like three different spots, and none of them were producing. And it's because, to be honest with you, we just wanted to fish. It was our one day we go out as the guys to actually fish, and we were like, we're going to try and make the most of it. And in reality, it was probably a day for pond fishing or not fishing at all. But yesterday there was talk of severe weather coming our way, and it was supposed to be till later in the evening. So we were kind of like, you know what? If it's going to be later in the evening, let's go try and fit.
Let's see how we're at.
Come on, y'all.
What?
Severe weather.
Yeah, severe weather that was going to be affecting us, and the biggest thing that we ran into with that was we thought it was going to be later in the day. We presumed that the storms were going to be later in the day, which they were for literally 1 hour in the evening. We did not anticipate that the entire day was going to be 92 degrees almost the entire day with 20 mile an hour winds. Yeah, 20 mile an hour winds. That was rough. So real quickly, we're gonna kind of go over some things. I've got some notes that I put here for fishing. I'm gonna get over to them maybe if I can. Ta-da! Okay. A couple things that I really wanted to talk about, especially this affects a lot of different places in fishing. It doesn't just apply to Missouri. This applies all around when it comes to fishing in general. We're gonna go over stuff like water temperatures first. Warm waters, obviously, warm waters means fish are moving. They're more active. That's a good thing. We like it when the waters are warm. Fish are definitely going to be a lot more aggressive, and that leads to more, aggressive feedings, and that extends a lot of feeding windows. So you'll get more time to actually get out there and fish. Larger baits and faster presentations work well in those kinds of situations. Not always, okay, because again, everything changes temperament-wise, but for the most part, collectively across the board, faster presentations work well. Large baits, the fish are usually a lot more aggressive. Cold waters, obviously, slows the fish's metabolism. They're less likely to feed as often. And they're going to find those deeper channels and deeper points where the water's still kind of warm down in the bottom to kind of dwell out. And even smaller baits and slower presentations are going to draw them in. So, like, one thing that Chris and I like to run quite a bit is things like rooster tails for the topwater fish, because we've been having a lot of fun learning about topwater and starting to play with that, being that I hardly ever did that before this season. I did a lot more just catfishing. That's why the majority of last season's videos was just catfish, because that's kind of what I do. That's why logo is the catfish, because majority of what I ever did was catfish. Um, for those of you that don't know what's going on, my kids are playing spy at this point, trying to sneak past my camera without it picking them up. So if you hear me pause for a moment, it's me just shaking my head. I've got some goofy kids, man. So when it comes to temperatures, water temperatures between 68 to 75 are preferred. Temperatures between 45 to 55 are a little less effective. And then you've got your extreme. One moment, guys. Extreme temps below, sorry about that, 35 and above 85 degrees are going to can stress or make the fish lethargic, reducing catch rates, which is kind of what we experienced yesterday with the 92-degree air temperature. And then, of course, what was it, the last 2-3 days where it was between the high 80s and 90s on temperature that affected the water temp as well. Also, changes with the barometric pressure will affect fishing quite a bit. Falling pressures, usually that's implied prior to a storm. That's the most common time you'll see the pressure heavily change. Well, rapid falling pressure can be kind of a double-edged sword. It's good because sometimes it'll increase bite chances. It'll make them respond a lot more rapid because they know a storm's coming. Fish are going to be moving around a lot more. So your shad, your minnows, things like that are going to be hitting the top waters for bugs, algae, stuff like that, because everything's getting tossed around and will get tossed around during the rain, which I'll explain more when we get to the actual weather climate or weather conditions. And they'll roam a little bit further and chase baits a little bit better in those nice temperature drop points. But if the pressure's too low, fish slow down. They hold tight to cover, and they won't really want to come out. They'll stick to their ambush methods over anything else at that point.
We're averaging about 30 on our barometric scale here in Missouri constantly right now.
But 30 is not terrible. 30 is kind of just about in that sweet spot. But there are those days where it's going to dip or climb. And rising pressures can make the fish lethargic, or extreme low pressures during a storm will kind of put fish into cover. Only fish that I've seen that usually will really bump out in the middle of a storm, which Chris and I found out during one of our fishing trips to Castlewood, were things like white bass and crappie, where we were fishing Castlewood along the bank, and rooster tail running the rooster tailing the waters. They were consistently striking in the middle of the rainstorm. It was pretty nice.
The lucky part was it was only rain.
Yeah.
We weren't thunderstorms
No
or anything.
thunderstorm or anything crazy. It was pretty easy going. And obviously stable pressures usually during dusk and dawn. That's going to give you more of a stable, predictable feeding as well. That's why people always talk about when they go out fishing, especially things like catfish, that they go out early in the morning usually or late in the evening, which from here on
We
out,
don't really get that point.
well, no, from here on out, on days where it's going to be 92 freaking degrees, I've kind of made the executive-ish style decision to do like an evening fish or early morning fish, and get out by the water a lot sooner. That means these
or
old men,
later.
these old men are either going to go to bed really early to be up early, or we're going to hold off on going fishing until later in the day to actually try and do some fishing. Um, Next thing on my notes are winds. Winds were, like we had said earlier, 20 miles per hour. It was ridiculous. It was just heavy. Winds play a heavy effect on it as well because moderate wind can create surface movement. That kind of stuff can usually kind of displace bait fish and make them move. Increases oxygen in the water, so you'll get a boost in feedings. Too much wind, though, like what we are experiencing, will push the fish towards structure because the heavier the winds, it tends to, you know, push all your bait fish closer to the shallows because there's just too much. And a lot of times that will push your predator fish, catfish, and bass and things like that into those shallow points too. Um, Precipitation is another big one. Rain, light rain can toss things up quite a bit. It increases the visibility, or it increases some heavy hits, but can also push them down into cover if the rain gets too heavy. If it's downpouring, a lot of times they're going to stick to their structure because again, you're talking about being able to see from the surface for the fish, seeing into the surface or at the surface, and with it getting choppier and choppier, they're less likely to differentiate a bug skimmering across the top of the water or see the bait fish at the top of the water, so they're going to hang down a little bit um, compared to if it was steadier or calmer waters. And then obviously, because Missouri, I'm going to talk about this one only because Missouri does get this effect every once in a while. Snow often signals of cold water and reduced activity, so you can still get fish. I'm not saying you can't, but it is definitely something where it's a lot less likely. Cloud cover is another huge one, and I've become a firm believer in this because for the longest time I would just go fishing. I'm gonna be honest with you, I just get out there to go fishing. Didn't care what cloud cover looked like. Didn't care about half that stuff. I get out there and wet a line just because I wanted to go wet a line. And I'm coming to realize that cloud cover does play a relatively heavy part um, in fishing. When you get cloudy skies, it produces light penetration, which makes the fish more active. They're less likely to stay in their cover because they feel a little more protected with the shadows and the overcast from the blockage of the sun. It's like they're sneaking through the shadows down in the water. They believe it makes them a lot less visible, things of that nature. And then direct sunlight, obviously, they're going to stick to their structures. Temperature falling into that as well. Sun's out, it's going to be hotter, so they're going to stick to their structures, their shades, stuff like that. So, kind of a quick touch up on what I was explaining. Falling pressure for You can use things like falling pressure for fast baits and open waters, be more effective. Match bait sizes you'll want to match your bait sizes and presentations depending on your water's temperature overall. If the waters are too warm, or if the waters are warm, stick to larger baits and more active. They'll come up and crush you. If the temperatures are too cold, smaller baits and slower baits, it'll draw them in for a quick meal. Um, Always make sure you check your forecast before you go out. Kind of base it off of what you anticipate. But as we always say here in Missouri, the weather can change between four seasons in a matter of an hour. Um, so it's one of those things where things could be going good. It could totally be going terrible within the next 20 minutes. It's just you play it by ear and you make things happen. And then, of course, obviously, locations based on wind. So we tried this a couple times when we were out. We went windward at three of our locations, thinking that, with the wind pushing as it was, it should push the bait fish and everything towards us. It did not. And then we tried one at one that was leeward towards um, the spillway there at Simpson, and it also was not producing. We were drawing across from the windward side to us, and nothing was coming out to play. I changed up different baits and lures, speeds, everything from big and small, everything from fast and slow, and we weren't getting any hits. We went an entire day and got skunked, and the only thing we walked away catching was a sunburn.
Significant one at that.
Oh yeah. And this kind of stuff plays heavy against your fish species that you're targeting, because depending on the type of fish you're targeting, temperatures might be slightly different. Just like when you have fish as pets in aquariums, the difference in temperature for one fish might be different from a temperature for another. So for things like bass, peak activity is usually recorded or has been recorded between 68 and 75 degrees. The warmer waters makes them a little more aggressive, a little more uh, out and moving, while anything below 65 is going to slow them and push them into the warmer depths. Catfish, on the other hand, 65 to 75 for like blue cats out there on the Mississippi is like prime, a lot more aggressive, a lot more likely to come out and strike and feed. But again, the slower and cooler weather is going to do cats a lot more, do better for cats a lot more than it would for bass. Okay, so those are my notes. Chris, you got anything you want to add to that?
Negative Ghost Rider.
Okay. So the next thing, we're gonna sit down with Alex after this podcast today, and we are going to have everything buttoned down for the Fourth of July event, because we want to make sure that you guys have ample amount of time, and we have ample amount of time to figure things out, set things up, and get ready for the event. Because I don't know about you guys, I haven't seen much action over on the post on the YouTube channel. I've put up a poll on the YouTube channel under our posts to let us know if you plan on coming, don't plan on coming, or if you live out of state or live too far away and hey, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be a thing for you to do. But be sure to go over that poll and at least mark on it for us. That way we can get an itinerary idea of how many people we should anticipate coming. If you are planning to come to the 4th of July event, if you have your own fishing gear and want to bring it, that's the more the merrier, the better. We do have some gear that we'll be lending out during the event, but would definitely recommend having, if you've got your own stuff, to bring some stuff along with you. I would also like to extend that we will be barbecuing for you guys. We're gonna have most likely some burgers and hot dogs, and maybe a couple of sides. If you guys would like to assist with that and want to bring out, say, a side, I know Chris's wife says she's bringing some baked beans. But if you want to bring some stuff out or bring some drinks out, or just kind of, anything, will help. Saves us from pulling everything out of our budget or out of our own wallets for that. But we like to try and cover as much as we can. Again, we're not asking you guys to do this. We're just saying if you want to, you can. Just give us a heads up about it, so that way we can verify that allergies and things like that for people, because we got to be careful and stuff like that. And then lastly is the Moe Fish Shop. We've got the new 4th of July Fish-a-thon merch out there. I talked about that, I think, on the first video. We are going to be doing a giveaway to the most patriotic person. Does not have to be our Moe Fish merch. That's not me trying to, upsell you guys into buying our merch. But we will be doing a little giveaway item for the most patriotic person on the big old 250. Being that whoever comes in the most red, white, and blue attire possible. The most screaming Murica that you've ever seen attire um, will most likely win, and it'll be judged upon by the 3 to 4 judges, aka myself, Chris, Alex, and Mo, on who the winner will be. We do also have a couple other giveaway items that we're going to be doing and different ways to win. One of them is just going to be a showing up like we did last time, just because you showed up. We'll write your name down. We'll put you guys into the spinning wheel of awesomeness, and then you walk away with the prize. And then the last one is the gift bag. And I think Chris was gonna do something in particular with that one. I think it was like the big, like a big fish challenge or something. But I know you had the shave your mustache and me
Yeah,
shaving my head and my facial hair for whoever catches a 15 pounder or bigger. But and I'm gonna laugh because they're gonna cheat the system like I did, and they're gonna hook into a 36 pound carp and go, well, you didn't specify the species.
I did specify the CCs
The
actually.
CCs.
Yeah, I
What,
did say it had to
what
be a
kind of
cat.
CCs? Oh, you did say catfish. Okay, 15 pounder bigger catfish. Um, but yeah, we got a couple different things that we're gonna be offering for you guys to do. For you guys in ways to win different cool things. Um, yeah, if you want to support us, the Moe Fish shop is up. It's in the bio on the YouTube channel. Um, it's basically the Streamlabs slash Moe Fish. It's got all of our merch on there. We don't really make much of a profit, but we appreciate seeing people walking around with our gear. It's more or less we've killed the profit section of it, so that way you guys can get it at basically what we would get it at for cost. Just that way we can get more people rocking some Moe Fish merch. Um, so we can showcase to more people and have a bigger outreach. That's the biggest thing. Um, Other than that, we are going to nail down by the end of tonight. We're going to nail down our location. Uh, Depending, the biggest thing is it's depending on how many people are coming. If we get where it's like 5 people show up, we could get away with Simpson Park again. If it turns into 20 plus people, we may have to look into Simpson or Beatree Park. Which, I mean, overall, I think even if it was just 5 people, I'd still want to go to one of those only because, especially Beatree, it was quiet, it was beautiful, it was fun. I think most of the guys enjoyed it, even with the amount of people that were walking around the pond and around the lake. Um, Overall, like it was peaceful, it was serene. Um, Chris, anything for the 4th of July you want to add?
I think you got it all.
Oh man, we are crushing time on this one. I was not
Um,
expecting us to get done as quick as we did.
is it? I still got to get one more thing for the giveaway bag. I have a box of rooster tails. I have a box of the whip tails, or a pack of the whip tails, a pack of the rooster tails, and then I'm gonna get a couple other things to put in the gift bag um for the giveaway.
You got any crankbaits or poppers or anything like that?
Not yet.
If I need to, also I can supply some extra lures, unopened lures and such to that. Um, we talked about the weather. We talked about the 4th of July. We definitely crushed this a lot quicker than I was expecting. This is going to be a short podcast today, guys. I was not expecting us to go through this. Because I was falling through on a lot of like backup things to talk about today. I think we've discussed in previous videos the differences in the line, braid, mono, and fluoro, if I remember correctly.
Yes, we
We
did.
talked about that one a little bit when we were doing the gear conversations on episode 2. I'm leaning on Chris for next Wednesday. Temperature, obviously, depending. Um, no matter what, next Wednesday is bush wildlife, and we'll just pop from lake to lake and see what's biting. Less driving, a lot more kind of close proximity to each other. We can get away with doing a lot more. Oh, I will give you guys a sneak peek. I'm not going to say too much. Chris is gonna know immediately what I key up on here. There are some other really cool things that I've been working on here at the house, and big shout out to my amazing wife for basically helping me get to this point with some of this stuff. I'm not going to go again too into detail because I want it to be kind of a cool surprise. Pay close attention over the course of the next couple weeks when it comes to the intro video. You might just see something in there that might be subtle hints towards potential things to come. And I'm super duper excited about one of them. And I will leave it at Jaws. That's about it. That's all you're gonna get is Jaws out of it. But yeah, it's super cool. Just kind of a backstory to it. My wonderful wife and I were going out, and we went to our local Academy Sports. And they're around here somewhere. Long story short, I got my early Father's Day present from my family. Yeah. I'll put it on Chris since he's doing absolutely nothing over there. Put his big forehead up on the screen while I go look for okay. All right.
I mean, did it really necessarily have to be my forehead up on the screen?
Well, I mean, it was either that or it was going to be, you just kind of been sitting off to the side this one, so I figured it'd be best
We've literally flown through this one, and there's not much for us to talk about.
so much for every Thursday doing podcasts that we can't come up with stuff. But yeah, so long story short, my wife got me these really cool fishing Crocs. They've got freshwater species fish all up and down the sides of these shoes, and some that are not so freshwater species. I think my favorite part is around the edges of the base of the shoe. If you look closely, like that's a muskie, or it's supposed to be. Come on, camera, pick it up. Not gonna do it. Long story short, that's supposed to be a muskie. He is a chunker. He is short and now has a beer belly. So he's been living a good life. But yeah, she got me some Crocs. They make fun of me about not wearing Crocs and always giving them crap for Crocs. And so Mom was like, we're going to get you Crocs. And now they've become one of my new favorite things to wear. They are my good luck shoes for before we start a fishing session. And shut up, Chris. The kids are the ones that have deemed them the good luck shoes. Okay.
Might have to have a talk with my niece and nephews.
Right. But aside from that, when we were out, we came across these things called fish slap stickers, and I had to buy a few of them. I am not condoning or promoting fish slap stickers. I just happened to see them. And some of the little stickers led us to doing some, I won't say soul searching, but definitely some deep thought process, and then some deep diving to see if these actually existed anywhere else. No, they did not. And so then we ran with them. And now we have really, really cool things that I can't wait to unveil to you guys. because I will tell you firsthand, these things get put into the form of merchandise, aka t-shirts, hats, things of that nature. I'm going to 100% be buying these because I think they're going to be kind of cool. So hint, that's I've slipped more than I wanted to. New merch on the way, just for the fun of things. Again, not it's not going to be at any kind of absorbent price. It's not going to be anything where we make money off of it. It's just something I'm having fun with, to be honest with you. And seeing people wearing our logos and wearing our designs is going to be more to me than anything in the form of money, because it's just seeing the amount of people that we can outreach to about this. I got one more thing, actually. Now that we're, I have not had a chance to discuss this with my cohorts on this or plan this out, but it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and throw a dart at the map and then pick a date and just go that route. But or pick one of the rougher spots that I know. I've been wanting to do a recreational cleanup. Essentially, we clean up around most of the waters that we go to anytime we go fishing, but I wanted to do a Moe Fish team, community slash everybody that wants to be involved, uh, conservation cleanup. Essentially, I want us to be able to go to a body of water, whether it be a pond, a lake, the riverbank. If we go to the riverbanks, please be careful, just because if anybody goes in, I'm a decent swimmer, but I'm nothing compared
Old.
to I'm nothing compared to the river's currents. Um, but maybe like a pond, a lake, something of that nature, and just do some walking around and cleaning up for a couple hours. We'll bring a case of water out so that way we have things to hydrate with, because as I've come to learn, hydrate or dihydrate. Um, Essentially, we want to be able to do or at least I want to be able to do the other half of what Moe Fish is supposed to be standing for, and what we are about, which is conservation and cleanup. So I think I'm gonna plan that out. I'm gonna, like I said, throw a dart at a dartboard. Unless you guys want to make comments in the chat, make comments on any of the videos, and go, "Hey, we've got a spot out by us that's got this would-be good pond, but there's a crap ton of just junk that we need to have cleaned up." Obviously, be careful with things like barbs, hooks, in some locations, possible needles and things of that nature. Just wear gloves and just be cautious about stuff like that. But I want to do a cleanup. Might even break out like a little magnet fishing magnet. So if you guys are into the magnet fishing, this might be an opportunity for you guys to come out too. Toss a magnet in the water and see if we can't dredge the bottom and see what we can't pull from the bottom of the ponds, lakes, stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of the biggest thing that I really that I personally want to bring to the table when it comes to Moe Fish. I enjoy fishing more than anything. It's one of my go-to things, but I also like basically habitat restoration and cleaning up after ourselves. So if you guys want to take part in that, be sure to drop a like and a comment on this podcast video on the YouTube side. Reach out to me via the email attached to the YouTube channel and let me know, and we can always plan something out. I'd really like to do something like that, and I'll be honest with you that whether my team can make it or not, if it's a day that I get set, then I don't care. I'll be out there all by myself for 2-3 hours cleaning up. Drag my kids out there if I have to help with the cleanup. But it's definitely something that I've kind of wanted to do. So we're gonna go from there. Um, but I'm sorry. I'm listening to my kids now talk about, why did Dad mention us? Well, we're technically a part of the Moe Fish. Well, I mean, technically, they're earning their stripes. They're earning their way in. So yeah. Um, yeah, that's really all I've got for that. Um, don't have any new fishing stories for you for today because yesterday was unfortunate. There is no the one that got away story or anything like that because there was no one
I
at
mean,
all.
technically, I had the one that got away story.
I still didn't see it, so I don't 100% believe that it even existed. But
So,
we'll let you have it.
so I'm running a rooster tail while we are up at Castlewood when we first got there, and it took a while, but I ended up getting a gar who came after my rooster tail. The unfortunate part is he grabbed it at the spoon and was not letting it go until I started pulling him in, and
Like a
I
dog with a
saw
chew
him.
toy.
Right. It's a dog with a chew toy, literally, because it's, me sitting there yanking on this thing, being like telling the dog to give it, to drop it so that you can throw it again. He comes up to the top, he does this nice little splash, and then is like, oh, I should probably not have this in my mouth right now. Spits it right out. The rooster tail came flying back at me because I was also in the process, I'm pulling back,
Yanking.
reeling. I gave it a nice little pull back because he was trying to pull down on me. And yeah, freaking rooster tail just whoop, right by me.
Jettisoning missiles of barbed hooks back at him. He goes, "You try to hook me? Here, let me hook you."
So there's that. But I feel like with how Missouri weather is going to be uh, over the next few weeks, it's probably going to be pond fishing
You might see us hit a
and
couple of our repeat offense spots over the
less
next
so
couple of
lake
weeks.
fishing at the moment with how high up the waters are here around us. I mean, we've fished flooded waters before, but these are when we got to Castlewood this week, they were the highest that we had ever seen them while attempting to do a fishing trip.
Incorrect.
While we have attempted.
Fair. Okay, I'll give you that one. I was gonna say because there were times last season when we got those really torrential rains that came through, and before I fully started the Mo and I started the Moe Fish thing, I was just going out fishing just because I wanted to go fishing. It was my hobby. It still is my hobby. Will forever be my hobby. Um, they're gonna bury me in the ground with my catch the fever rod. That's how serious fishing. Chris is like, I'm gonna dig you up. Don't
I
think
mean,
out.
that or if you decide to be cremated, I might have to burn it with you.
Ooh. Oh no, that's he's gonna put a fake orange rod in place of it. Oh yeah, it's totally to catch the fever. But no, yeah. So I
I'm
went
pretty
out.
sure your wife would kill me if I tried to take that ride.
Nah, should probably try and sell it to you.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah. Last season I went out after a couple of days of torrential rain and then a couple days of dry, and I thought, okay, well, it's been hot, it's been dry, the water should have receded by now. Slight, very slight rain. I'm talking maybe a 2 hour little rain shower went through, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go out by the water and see what's biting. So I went to Castlewood, walked the path, got down to towards where we go in at, and the water was all the way up to that concrete walk path that's there. Like it had pushed all the way back up into the trees. There was bits that were covering the road. In fact, the main little road that takes you down and into it, which to give you guys a reference point, let me see if I can't do this.
Let's say you want me to bring it up on Google Maps.
I'm pulling up Gmaps right now. It might be hard to see due to the tree coverage, but we're going to try and do it anyway, just to show you. Yeah, here we go. Okay, let me pop
Share
this
screen and
open.
solo box it.
Boop and boop. I need one that's not a box. I'm gonna hide the box for now. There we go. All right. So what I'm talking about when I'm explaining this is this road here. There is a segment of the road right here where the railroad tracks meet. That is where we will usually park our cars because there's this little yellow crossbar that won't let vehicles go any further down that road. Now, along these side paths are little trails people will walk. There's a wooded one that goes here, and then just a little bit further down here, there used to be, I don't know if it's still there. There used to be a picnic table that was here, and then this is a concrete footpath that leads on down to where we head out to fish here on this nice little sandbar. Um, when I tell you that the water was flooded, this last time it was up to right about here where the edge of the grass line is. It took up a bunch of the water. It came up pretty decent because that's not any kind of small feat. Um it's not shallow. That's a steep incline. So it starts kind of shallow and then it just ramps up, 45 degrees and comes up to a bank cliff essentially. So we'll fish from that. The water had overwhelmed up to that 45-degree bank cliff and was all the way up to here. When I went out to go fishing that day, the water was all the way back here to the trail, to that cross wooded trail. Water had covered and flooded all of this up. This was underwater. This little sandbar up here was underwater. The creek that runs back here, I believe it's Kiefer Creek, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Kiefer Creek was, you know, basically its own little Kiefer River because it was flooded pretty heavily on that side too. But on my walk down, I didn't notice this. I was talking with a gentleman on my way down to my spot. I was probably somewhere around here where the trails break off left and right. And I was passing a gentleman and he's like, "Good luck, man." And I was like, "Thanks." He goes, "Waters are going to be pretty high today." I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, it's flooded up to the concrete." So we're talking, and I look to my left. I could see the water within the tree line. Like this was all filled with water. There was a drainage system that was running water from the left side to the right underneath. And I just happened to see something out here in the edge of this tree line, probably maybe 2 foot off of the road, and it's laying on its side, and it looked like a fish. It looked like a big fish. I was like, "Man, what is that?" So me being me, I go over into the woods, start walking out into this little wooded area to where the water was running. It was still kind of shallow though because it was stuck. And I get up there, and it is a massive, massive, probably 30 to 40 pound grass carp that had gotten stuck sideways. I don't know how he got up this far because, as far as I'm aware, the next side of the Merrimack is pretty darn far away. There's like that would have had to been a straight shot flood going there because there's no other bodies of water. He had to have swam himself up from here. I'm not entirely sure. All I know is he was chilling right off this road next to the trail. So I go in and I assist the big guy, and I get him back into the deeper stream and watch him as he kind of wades his way through the grass and whatnot until I lose sight of him as he's pushing back to the riverfront. But it was a massive carp, and I picked him up and I helped him back on his way. But I thought that was pretty darn neat. I have an additional guest here in case you guys can't hear on the podcast. The youngest of the Moe Fish crew has come over to see Dad. Yeah. Hi. You wanting to say hi to everybody? Is that it? Yeah. One sec, guys. We have an additional visitor. For those of you guys that don't know or are watching on the Patreon or the Spotify, you're about to get a first-hand hello from the youngest of our Moe Fish community here. Let me do it this way. Come here. You can say hi. You can come say hi. Huh? You can come say hi to everybody. Ugh. Let me say hi. Go ahead. Dad, you got the colorful headset on again. I wanna play with the headset. That's what fascinates me. That's what got my attention over here. Hi, mamas. You gonna say hi? You wanna say hi to everybody? What happened to the? Oh yeah, we're on the blue. Cha! There we go. I fixed it. Hello. You gonna say hi? Look. Zozo. You want my mouse now? Zozo. Look. Look over there. There's Uncle Chris. There's Uncle Chris. Say hi, everybody. Hello. You are just staring it down. Who's that pretty baby there? Here, I know what'll get her. Watch this. Ready?
Golly, she looks like her mother.
Put the bluegill logo back on. There we go. Technical difficulties, but we'll figure it out. You ready? Look. Who's that? Who's that pretty baby? She sees herself on the other monitor. She looks to the wrong monitor. Who's that pretty baby? Huh? Who's that pretty baby? Huh? What's he doing? Oh yeah. Can you say hi? Can you say hi to everybody? Oh, she's excited. Hello. Hyper babies, huh? Hyper, hyper, hyper. There's the microphone. You can talk to it. Say hi to the mic. Happy babies. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pass her back to Mama for now. We're going to go ahead and finish this thing up a little bit earlier than initially anticipated. That was really the only fish tail, I guess I've got for you today, was just that one of saving that big old grass carp. But yeah, like Chris said, we are going to be looking at possibly, depending on how the weather maintains, if it stays in this weird 90-degree kind of temperature that feels kind of funny, then I mean, obviously, we're probably going to look into spending a little less time around the rivers, a little more time around the ponds, and going from there. Sorry, I keep trying not to itch it, and I find myself still itching the sunburn a little bit, and then I get reminded that it's a sunburn and it likes to do its job and burn. Aside from that, guys, thank you all to all of our awesome viewers. We just over the last week hit our 100th subscriber, which is a huge milestone for us. As Chris makes funny faces at the camera, right? He's traumatized. He said 100. But no, we want to say thank you to everybody that's become a part of this thing. It's awesome, the support that we're getting from you guys and the support that we've gained over this time. We're gonna keep pushing on. Our next goal is going to be 300. So 300 total subscribers. If you are not subscribed to the channel and you like what you see, you like our content, please, please, please feel free to subscribe. Hit the notification bell to let you know when we go live on any of our upcoming videos. Anytime new videos come out as well when we do any of our other videos. Also, be sure to follow us on either Instagram or X, where both of those are in the bio. But be sure to follow us on those so that way you can be up to date on any new and unraveling events that we have planned. We also have our Patreon where these podcasts get posted as well. It is free. We do not charge. It's just another place that we're trying to branch out and get more attention to people of the Moe, to get the Moe Fish brand and logo out there more. And then most recently, I made a notice about it last time. We are on Spotify now, and you can now listen to the podcast while you're at work through Spotify. Just search Bankside Chat, and we come up. It'll be our nice little Moe Fish logo like the one behind me, and it'll go from there. Other than that, guys, we truly, truly appreciate everybody. Whether we catch fish or not, it's really cool getting to experience this whole ride with all of you guys, with the whole community that we're building, and hoping to continue to build and grow to be able to do more cool things with you guys. Um, but I just I say it from the bottom of my heart. I truly appreciate everybody that's a part of this. You know, the Lord has blessed us to be able to bring this stuff to you guys, and to me, that's it's more than I could ever imagine. So I truly appreciate you guys. Um, but until next time, we will catch you later. Take care, everybody.